Video game bang, video game bang, video game bang. Video game. Mega brand. Live from the sack, it's the livest. In fact, I'm putting rhymes on this track to put my guys on the map. Updates, geek news, tech talk, and reviews. They can summarize it so you ain't gotta breeze through. Listen once and you're forever fans. And I'm not saying it because their theme song features Mega Ram, the ultimate source of all geek media. Other podcasts, they just don't match up. Need proof? You can check the archives and catch up. Stats off the chain, we have rearranged the game. It'll never be the same. Now it's time to feel the
bang. What is up, everybody? Video Game Bang back, doing it, recording on a Friday, which is a little out of character. Usually we do the show on Wednesdays, but we knew with the news coming up this week, VGB was using the old noggin. We did the right thing. We waited until we could see the entirety of the Xbox showcase before we wanted to bring you a new episode. Let's see. Let's give the little teaser. Like when you watch a movie, that little part that you watch, it's like 30 seconds, but it's not the movie.
The trailer?
Thank you. I don't know why I lost the word trailer. You heard her there. She's the big brains of the organization. What is going on, Emmaskies? Give us your trailer teaser feelings towards the Xbox showcase.
Some very high highs and some mediocres.
No lows?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to count it as a low when you don't see anything.
You're so...
I would count the lows as the things that I didn't see that I wanted to see.
You are such an Xbox fangirl. I think we're going to have a lot of fun on this episode. Also joining us on the show this week, hanging in there, Lexie. How you doing?
Good. I'm pretty excited and pumped about this as well. Love Xbox.
You're an Xbox fangirl too, so what do you think? Give us your teaser thoughts.
Highs and I guess maybe one low, but yeah.
Interesting. You guys are, I think there's gonna be some conflict on this episode, and I love Xbox, but I think the whole thing was like a medium, maybe a couple highs, but they were just leveled out by some terrible lows. And then joining us, rounding out the squad, I saw some of your boys walking around old Sacramento. The Sacramento Kings Guard were just out there just enjoying the city last weekend in old Sacramento. It's a landmark staple place. If you ever come out here, you have to go there. Just check it out, walk around. It's actually been really revitalized. It's popping. It's right there kind of where their training facility is too. Curtis, how your boys been doing?
They've been doing pretty good. Just won a game last week, won a game last week. Tournament called The Turn started today, or actually started on Monday, but or Tuesday, they won both games earlier in the week, and then won a game earlier today. Swept them. So yeah, they're just cleaning up. We're looking really, really good this year.
How's
Kings Guard? Let's go.
So what's the toll been because of COVID? Are they still doing like regular season and then one big tournament, or do they do tournaments like every month now? Like what's their schedule?
For the most part, they're still. I mean, the only thing that's really changed is since they're not doing games in studio out in New York as they were last season for obvious reasons. All the games are all remote, so all of the games are best two out of three. So game days are longer, and we kind of get more games throughout the week, which is, if there's a silver lining to, the circumstances, then I would say that would be it, that we get more games. But still same amount of tournaments and everything. That's really the only change to the season.
Nice. It's good to see Sacramento's own doing well. But like we mentioned, this was a huge week for news, and we are going to start off with the Xbox showcase. And being as though nobody is more qualified to run us through the happenings start to bottom, Emmaskies, what are we thinking? Talk us through the Xbox game showcase.
All right, so we're just going to go in order so I don't jump around as I am wont to do. So
perfect, because that's going to bring me to my first issue with this whole goddamn thing, so please.
By all means, what did you think of Halo?
I thought Halo looked great. I'm just saying, as my take on the Xbox Game Showcase was just whoever the administrator was who wrote the schedule and chose what time of day and what time this thing went out and what games went in what orders, I think just dropped the ball. That person shouldn't be responsible for this. They're in the wrong business.
I was very upset that the pre-show started at 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
I was so tired.
Why? There's no purpose.
Know your audience.
Especially being a North American, game company, you'd think you'd put it at the most advantageous in your home market where it's the most popular. It's already known that Xbox is not popular across the world. PlayStation wins. And I would have just copied the time of week and date time is Xbox, PlayStation. When we watched that one, there was nearly 1 million concurrents on YouTube. That's not even counting what was on Twitch and then the other languages. Like they had such crazy viewership. I didn't see the Xbox one go past 300,000. I could have missed that, but it definitely was nowhere near as impressive a job as PlayStation did. And I think a lot of that has to do with the schedule. You talked about it on your social channels. You had to wake up at 7 a.m. to get ready to do a Twitch stream on this thing. Like, who did this help? Why would they do that?
I was like, y'all did this for what? Why? It's so early. Who asked for this?
I don't get it. So, and then
do you want to know the numbers though?
Please.
So 1.5 million plus on Twitch, 1 million plus on YouTube, 300,000 Twitch people watching YouTube. And that was it. And then I almost kept going because there's another line to this, but it just says, and with hundreds of millions of Microsoft dollars pissed into the wind, 0 viewers on Mixer.
That's cold-blooded. The viewership sounds better. Maybe it's because they really advised people to co-stream. So if Nadeshot or Courage or somebody big was streaming their reactions, maybe they were able to aggregate those somehow. But on the Microsoft stream, it wasn't too impressive. And then the other part, besides just what time of day it was, putting Halo first. Like, why do you
That was a very bold choice.
Twitch chat, being as toxic and evil as they were, just started spamming, buy viewers after the Halo section. Like, goodbye, everybody. It was a mess. Why would you lead with that? But I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that one, Curtis? What were they thinking? What's the What's the advantage of putting Halo at the beginning of your damn thing?
I don't know what the advantage is for them. The advantage for all the people that have been waiting for that Halo news is that they don't have to wait that long. So I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking there. Honestly, just kind of playing doesn't really make sense. I mean, I know unless there's some good surprises along the way, obviously so many people up there like, oh yeah, I can't wait for Halo. Let's get to it. Like, that's going to be the big thing, but just front loading it with it, I am not sure. Don't know what they were thinking. Doesn't sound like it worked either. All
right, please continue, Emma. What was hype about this?
So we start right off the bat with Halo. Like, there was no person coming out introducing anything. Like, they just immediately were like, here's a new Halo trailer. So they gave us a new trailer, and then what we were all actually waiting for, it leads right into gameplay. And this is my biggest problem with how they presented this. My biggest problem with the entire Halo presentation. They open up on a title screen. It's very exciting. Lost my shit. And on that title screen, it says, press start to play demo. And I got so excited. I was like, there's a demo. Oh my God. This is how these work. They're going to say, as soon as this is done, you can download the demo right now. Or as soon as this is over, you can play. No, not a goddamn word. This is not a real demo that you can play as a consumer right now. And I'm still upset about it.
I mean, isn't that common though? I feel like that happens all the time. It's a common name for what it is. It's a demo.
But why would they put that on your screen as press start to play demo? That's obviously I'm upset about it. I'm triggered.
I feel like, to Cory's point, most of the time they put that, or I've seen it even at past E3s, it's in the name. But I also understand why you're upset.
Can't show me a demo that I can't play. It's upsetting.
Does that spell trouble for you? That they're not? Do you think it's because they're not confident enough in its current state to do that, or?
No, I think it's just not. It doesn't make me not like the game. It doesn't make me worried for the game. It's just why would you put this word on my screen?
I read that they actually ran that tech demo on a PC that they said, quote unquote, was similarly spec'd to the Xbox Series X.
Interesting.
Yeah, and we're still like 4 months out from release on it, so it's not like I'm expecting, it's not like this game's coming out in 2 weeks, and I'm like, okay, if they're having a demo, it's gonna come out now.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll see more. I know Xbox has, I'm pretty sure they have another event before the Series X comes out, so I'm sure we'll see more. But I want that demo. But aside from that, the actual what we got, I very, very much liked. The trailer was very, very good. And the gameplay, I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed everything that we saw from it. I loved it.
I agree. I think that the cool features that I noticed was the new automatic, like, human weapon that was kind of like a fully automatic DMR or something, was pretty badass. I noticed they brought back the brutes, which is happy for me because I just felt like they were so gratifying to.
Excuse you, the banished.
Oh, the Banished. I'm sorry.
The Banished.
For those of you who care about the lore, the Banished. But the other thing I noticed that was cool was the new, like, throw shield ability. It looked like they stole stuff from other games, which
it was like a half bubble shield.
Yeah, it was like a half shield. It was like an Orisa shield if you play Overwatch. And then now Master Chief has a grappling hook, like straight up Just Cause style.
So yeah, they have the grappling hook. So the biggest things that I noticed were A, the grappling hook, and B, that you can throw things. Like, he grapples an explosive to him and throws it. So both of those are brand new, we've never done stuff like that in Halo. The only thing you could throw was your grenades. Like, you can't just pick stuff up and throw it.
Yeah.
So this game is clearly going to work much different than other Halo games. It's way more expansive. I believe the devs have said that it's a more expansive story than the last 2 campaigns combined.
That's cool.
So it's very, very big. It's looking like it's going to be open world. It will be our very first chance to really explore an open world Halo ring. And Alana Pierce had a video that I watched where she got to do she got to see the behind closed doors demo and talk with some of the devs. And I guess she asked at one point if they were going to, as players, are we going to go to other worlds, or is it just on this ring? And they wouldn't answer. So that kind of lends to the idea that this is not the only place we're going to go to. So there will be other worlds, and then there's going to be the main through line, the main story, as well as a number of, side mission quests that you can do. So it's going to be run a very different way than Halo games of the past.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how that translates into it. I'm very excited for it. It's not anything that I looked at where, I looked at it and was like, he's using new, he's got a grappling hook. This isn't Halo. Like, this isn't his, this isn't my game. This isn't my franchise. This isn't my Halo. Like, it still feels and looks like Halo, which I'm excited about.
There was a lot of that too. There was a lot of OGs who would see things that are different and then automatically start getting mad. I saw some frustration that Master Chief could sprint, for example.
Which is stupid.
I get that.
Can you imagine how annoying it is do you know how annoying it is to boot up a game in 2020 and realize your character can't sprint and you're just stuck at 1 walking speed?
I feel that way about sliding. The old Titanfall slide?
Yeah.
They've incorporated that in so many different games that when I'm running in a game and I can't slide, I'm like, what's the point? This game sucks.
It's upsetting.
Yeah.
It's upsetting.
That brings us to another point. Popular figure in the esports community, Nadeshot from 100 Thieves, started just kind of railing on the game. He put out like 2 or 3 tweets that were just bashing the presentation on how this is the huge missed opportunity because they didn't incorporate a battle royale. They didn't give any of the
Fuck off.
They didn't give any. Hey, wait a minute. You're the one who's. Wait a minute. Weren't you just 2 seconds ago the one saying, bring on the new features, man? What's wrong with you guys?
I don't think it's a failure of a presentation because they didn't talk about a stupid mode I don't want anyway. There will come a time where they're talking about multiplayer and they're talking about their battle royale.
Wouldn't that be this time though? Come on. This is the 3rd year I think we've heard about this game. I wanted more information, not just the demo was cool, the little story part, whatever. But you got to come out. Dude needs to come out, shuffle some papers around, and be like, all right, we're going with the rank system from Halo 2. This is the online features that you can get to build your own maps or whatever. That's the stuff that was missing.
I feel like they will do that more closer to the launch of the system. maybe. I feel like right now, for what it was, like this was a good like, here you go, like let me show you how it's gonna look, and a few things that you can do in the game. But I feel like they would more want to show that when they launch, like the actual launch for the Xbox, like whenever that conference is or show they want to do.
Curtis, I would wager to say you're the most uninvested in the Halo franchise here, but that's an opportunity in the Video Game Bang. So looking at it from an outsider's perspective, what did you take away from this Halo presentation?
Oh shoot. Still can't hear me. Come back to me.
Okay. All right. So well, but let's go back to the Battle Royale thing, Emma, because you're so fervently against that. Nadeshot brought up a good point about, Halo's kind of lost its relevancy in the scene, and the reason that games like Call of Duty are still around and so popular is because they adapt. And the Warzone game mode that they did, their Battle Royale, is probably more successful than everything else.
Well, it's also Warzone's free to play, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the actual, yeah. So I'm not saying that like
check
that they're not going to. Like, I think they're gonna have some sort of large scale multiplayer mode, whether or not that's Battle Royale. Like, they're gonna have it. I just don't think the whole presentation of the game is a failure because they didn't talk about the thing that isn't the point of the game.
Agree. Because
like the whole. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying everybody's been waiting on Halo. Like, so I agree.
Well, and they pushed this game. Halo Infinite was supposed to come out years ago, and they pushed it because the fan reception to the story in Halo 5 was so negative. They entirely reworked the story for Halo Infinite. And this is supposed to be like a spiritual reboot of the franchise. Like, they're really going back to their roots. This is like a love letter to Halo, is what one of the devs said. Like, the point of this game is the story. The point of the game isn't a Battle Royale mode. So the fact that that's not what they're showing right now, I would have been mad if we didn't get anything about the single player and they were like, here's our Battle Royale, because we're going to put more emphasis on that. That would be a bad sign for me. Maybe in the long term, it's what keeps people on the game. But like, the importance of Halo is the story.
I'll disagree with you for a moment when you say that the point of the game is the story. I disagree wholeheartedly that the point of the game is to sell and make money and have a huge player base and
business-wise. I mean, as the developing the game, but yes, from a business standpoint, yeah, obviously the selling is the point of the game.
And this is your biggest platform, because I promise you, whatever presentation, I don't know why words are so hard today, but whatever presentation they put together between now and November isn't going to have the press attention. It's not going to have the sheer massive viewership that they had the opportunity to get this in front of. And the fact that you have all these people who are titans in the industry saying that, man, this game doesn't appeal to me. They're already going to get me and you. We know that the story's coming out. We'll be the ones watching the event in 2 or 3 months where they give us more details about that kind of stuff. But like, now when you have everybody's attention, this is when you get everyone excited. And I don't think they did that. I think they pandered to us who were already going to buy it anyways. But the people out there who were on the fence didn't get fed enough to be excited about this game.
I don't know. If you're not excited unless something has a Battle Royale, I don't care about you. I don't care about you. If you're like, I'm not getting Halo unless I'm like, that's just personally, maybe Microsoft, should think different. But personally, if you're not getting Halo because it doesn't have a Battle Royale, you can go fuck yourself. Don't get Halo.
I mean, Halo has done it in the past where they've succumbed to popular game modes. They did.
Yep.
They did the
zombies.
Yeah, they did zombies.
The infection is the biggest example of that. Griffball, same thing.
Mm-hmm. So they've done it in the past. I don't see why they wouldn't.
I'm sure they will. And maybe that's why they didn't feel the need to make a big thing about it. Maybe they're so like, everybody knows it's going to be in there, or maybe they just don't care. I don't know.
Even more than a Battle Royale, I really would like them to bring back the couch co-op. They didn't touch on multiplayer experience at all.
It's 4-player split screen, the whole game. 4-player split screen couch co-op.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm happy now.
And they've said that you're always a Spartan when there's 4 of you. You're just 4 Spartans. You're not like other nameless characters that aren't as good. Like it's 4 Spartans.
Wait,
split
are
screen.
you saying the Arbiter was not as good as Master Chief?
No, I'm talking about when you have like ODST members.
Gotcha. Okay.
Where
okay.
like one of you're like, okay, I'm player 1, so I get to be the chief, and you're all humans. Whatever. Fuck it.
I guess if that bothered you,
Fight to be the Spartan.
I guess that's.
But yeah, I'm very excited. It got me really excited for this game. I'm so excited. I'm so hyped.
Yeah, I agree. It looked beautiful. The one thing people complained about that I think was one of the biggest pieces of nonsense was when they announced that it was going to be 60 frames per second. Was like the max on that. But
yeah, it's a console game.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of them max out at 60.
Well, not even. Like most of them can barely hit 30, you know? So the fact
true.
that they said that this one's going to be at 60 was cool. And like TV refresh rates are not the refresh rates on your monitor. And I'm sure that the version that comes out on Microsoft PC, you can do frames unlimited and things like that. But if you're playing this on an Xbox and you bitch about 60 frames per second, you're an idiot. I don't know what else to tell you.
There was a lot of hate on this on the whole conference, but very much on the Halo thing because it was their flagship, announcement for it. And I think a lot of it is just people wanting to jump on that wagon of hating on Xbox. People really love to hate Xbox, and that was super apparent yesterday.
It's true. It did seem like Xbox was taking a huge hit from the PlayStation crowd, and regardless of what happened in that conference, you were going to get that.
Yeah.
And I feel like the fan base either wasn't loud enough or it wasn't reciprocated on PlayStation's announcement. Like it seems like it kind of goes one way. Xbox people are just kind of chilling, oh, that's cool, man.
Honestly, that's how I find it in real life too. Like the people who are really, really adamant about console wars and people who are super adamant about like my stuff is better and your stuff fucking sucks is the PlayStation people almost exclusively, almost every time.
It seems to be that way. Have you noticed that same thing, Lexie?
Yeah, all the time. I have some friends that I like PlayStation and Xbox, but I mostly had I had PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 growing up, but then I never really had like the newer comp. But I played Xbox more avidly, so I had all the newer Xbox consoles. And I had a lot of friends who loved PlayStation, and it's just the Xbox PlayStation wars to me. And like they have their fan base, so. But yeah, I agree.
And if anybody's wondering, like in chat or listening to the podcast, like where'd Curtis go? Curtis has been doing the Lord's work in making sure that this podcast streams live on Twitch and every week. So we're having some technical difficulties on the stream side, which he is tending to. So everybody in the chat, give Curtis some love for doing all this work. And if you're listening to the show, that's why you don't get to hear his beautiful voice. So Emma, what's next?
So after Halo, they opened up with a really very cool cinematic that I was very enraptured by. It was a beautiful cinematic, had some really good, the like zombie deer at the end. Super, I was just pulled in, and then it said State of Decay 3, and I was like, oh, I don't care.
Why does that game get so much hate? It's actually a very cool concept.
I've never played it, so I went, okay, have fun.
Beautiful though. I agree. I mean, it's something I would try, but I've never played it or heard of it.
It's like as close to like a actual Walking Dead video game I think as you can get. It's got like scavenging and stuff like that, and then you meet people randomly throughout the world and you can invite them back to your compound, but if they die or if you send them out on a mission that they can't handle, like they're dead. It's permadeath for all the characters in the game.
Love that.
Yeah.
It actually reminded me of Walking Dead now that you say that, and I actually thought it was a Walking Dead game when I watched the trailer or something like that,
That's pretty much what it is. It's a like Walking Dead without actually being a Walking Dead game. It's really, really interesting. That said, as beautiful as a premise as it is, I got it, played it for like, I don't know, 6 hours, and then was like, all right, I've seen everything I needed to see, and then dipped. So hopefully they can come up with like more things to keep you engaged, but It's a really interesting game. I really recommend it. And we should also, before we go on, say that at the top of the show, they basically told you that everything that you hear or see and everything we're going to talk about today is going to be Games Pass. So
You undercut me. That was going to be my big finisher.
Oh no. Well, you got to lead with that. You got to lead with the big guns. If Xbox taught me anything, you lead with your strongest thing.
That was my big finisher because talking about Halo and the hate that this conference got, one of the things that I think that was lost was the idea that, like you said, every single thing you saw yesterday or on Wednesday, whatever, I don't know what days are anymore. No, it was yesterday. Fuck, I don't know what day it is. Everything you saw is on Games Pass, which is the fact that nobody's talking about that is fucking insanity to me. That should have been the biggest announcement out of the whole thing, but nobody's talking about that.
I feel like people don't understand Game Pass as well as I guess they should, or like someone should explain it. Because like as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, Emma and Cory is gonna be hyped. They talk about Game Pass all the time. Like people should get it. But I don't think people really get like the whole premise. So maybe you guys should enlighten people right now.
Well, it's crazy because usually I'm watching these conferences, you see all these games, and you're like, every one of these games looks really good. Like, I'm going to buy all these games. And you're like, fuck, okay, so that's $60 there. That's $60 there. That's it. No, every time I had that thought, I went, no, I have Game Pass. I don't have to pay extra for any of these. I already technically own all of these. I don't have to buy anything. And you get them day one. That's the important part. You're getting them Game Pass day one.
It's just how when I feel like I talk to you guys about the free Epic Game Store, and everyone's just kind of like, oh, exactly. That attitude right there.
About it. About the Epic Game Store now, Cory. I have gotten my free games, so I'm right there with you.
Thank you. Reasonable.
Emma, free games, even if you don't play them. At least you have them. Like, you can do a backlog day and play them, but at least you have them.
I used to be like that with the Xbox games with Gold, where I would download every single one of them regardless, because I was like, why would I not get this free game? And now I have this massive library full of shit that I have to go through on my games library and hide digitally so that I don't see them all the time, and I had to stop doing that. I was like, I don't need this.
That's suffering from success. Like, I don't know what.
It's just clutter.
I have so much of this beautiful content in video games that I need to press hide button on them so they don't get in my way. That's good problems. That's first world problems right there. That's Xbox problems.
That's Xbox problems. But yes, it is incredibly important that all of these, because $60 a game is a lot. Mm-hmm. Gaming is an expensive interest to have. Mm-hmm. But for $15 a month, you have essentially Netflix for games, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think that's the future, and that's why there was a lot of articles coming out recently saying, like, it's possible that Games Pass, or certain people at Xbox are saying that they want you to get Games Pass on the PlayStation. And that's kind of been Satya Nadella's thing. Like when he took over for Ballmer over there at Microsoft, he started really going towards software. And that's why today you can get, the Office suite on your iPhone, because they didn't care about keeping it so locked down and exclusive to the Windows Phone. Like, because only 10 people had the Windows Phone, You want your software on the biggest platforms. And so I totally see them being the first, eventually, sometime down the road, where you can use your Games Pass on the cloud, on your PC, on your PlayStation, on anything.
Well, that's the idea for xCloud. And everybody that has Game Pass Ultimate is getting xCloud. Minus the whole being on the PlayStation thing, because that's hell is going to freeze over.
It's going to happen someday.
That's gonna be a lot. It's a lot of days away. We're a lot of days from that. But
why wouldn't PlayStation want that? Like,
because it's their direct competitor. They're not going to team up with their direct competitor.
But you still buy a PlayStation. Everyone would then say, "I'm going to buy a PlayStation."
Why would Xbox allow that? If that's the reasoning from PlayStation,
why would they?
Xbox allow that?
How many people own PlayStations?
I'm just saying.
$15 a month from 10% of those is a lot of fucking money. That's a lot more than you'd probably make.
I feel like this is so you've built a utopia in your mind. Capitalism will not allow this, Cory. Capitalism will not allow this to happen.
The console wars are coming to a close. We're going to see some weird alliances, and I believe that's going to be one of them. Mark it here. Listen, save tweet.
But yes, Game Pass, go get Game Pass. It's crazy.
Sorry I ruined your big announcement. I could just see you in a black turtleneck and one more thing.
That was the whole idea. That was the whole idea.
It's all free.
The next Steve Jobs.
Balan Wonderworld, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I have zero interest in this. This looks like a cute game that I have no interest in.
I don't even know which one it is, and I'm looking at the games right now. I couldn't even tell you.
I'm looking at it because I'm looking at basically a breakdown because I wanted to go in order, but I feel like I can't remember if this was in the main show or the pre-show. Was this in the main show? I have no idea.
I missed it
because I kind of tuned it out, but it's another Square Enix game. So a couple of the original creators of the Sonic the Hedgehog game are creating it, which got me excited at the first, and then I looked at it and I went, no, this isn't a me game. But it does look it looks very cute. Like it looks like it's widely based around the concept of different costumes that you wear for different situations that give you different powers. And that's about all I got out of it.
I could see my baby cousins playing this game. They love like Roblox and all that. So I could see them playing this, and I mean, it seems enjoyable.
It's very much like a family game. Like it's supposed to be like a family friendly kind of a thing.
I think they missed the mark because this seems like a competitor of Bug Snacks, and for some reason they were able to be just weird enough to become a meme. And we actually know what Bug Snacks is. This game like came and went, and well, I don't think many of us will ever think of it again. So rest in peace to this game, because I don't think we'll ever talk about it on this show for a positive reason.
Dang.
I think it was in the pre-show, because now that I'm thinking about it, when they were talking about it afterward, not one person got the name right. Everybody talking about it after the trailer came on said Balan Wonderland, Balan's, something. Everybody said it wrong. Nobody got it right. And I went, that's a bad sign.
That's a really bad sign.
They showed off a new Forza Motorsport, because of course they did. The downside of not having your E3 stage, there was no car on stage. How do we know this is a driving game if you don't put a car on stage? I don't know what I'm looking at.
It was everyone on the call I was on. We all watched it together, and I said, Forza immediately once you hear like a car rev, and everyone was trying to hold out hope. Like, no, it could be this. Those look more like Formula One cars. Maybe it's a new. And then as soon as it announced Forza, everyone went, it's just the same thing. Like, not a new one.
Apparently there's a huge market for these people. People like really like these. People spend thousands of dollars building their, racing rigs, and I don't know.
Do you think still with your like steering wheel? Remember those bundles that came back in the
that's the only thing you can get this game for, is you're either like, I really love cars. I work on my car every day on my Chevy. I pop the hood and I touch the transmission. Is that a part? But those guys,
wow, that was embarrassing.
Or the ones who have like $1,000 like steering wheel rig where they take it as a simulator. They
like
exist.
The chair moves with their fucking
exactly
steering wheel and throwing them all over the place.
They had that.
That's how they do.
So there's always that one. They showed off Rare, showed off Everwild. I saw the Rare logo and went, Sea of Thieves, and then immediately went, not Sea of Thieves. They make other games.
Well, you can tell it was pretty inspired by them with the artwork, because it was comparable.
Heavily stylized game. It's just a cinematic, so it's kind of hard to know exactly what kind of game it is. Some sort of co-op game. Mm-hmm. And it's maybe online, it's co-op, and you're taking care of nature is really all I got out of that.
Yeah.
Cool trailer.
I guess. I'm not going to lie. I put it in that compartment of my brain that says Emma Games. So there you go.
This doesn't look like, I don't know about the Emma game, because I looked at that and I went, I don't know about that.
You'll end up playing it, and it'll be your favorite game because it's got a story and artsy fartsy stuff. Like,
well, the thing that's hard with cinematics is you don't know what kind of game that is. That game could be anything. It's just a cinematic. It's like seeing a cinematic for League of Legends, and you're like, the game looks nothing like this. What the hell is this? You're like, this is really cool. I want to play this. And then you see it's like a top-down RTS, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
That's a great point, Emma. We'll talk about that later in the show.
Ooh, perfect. So Everwild looks very pretty. It looks very stylized, but we're not quite sure what it is yet. We got another trailer, which I think we had like an announcement for this a while ago, called Tell Me Why. This I am excited for. It's this Life is Strange.
I was about to say that. It reminds me of that game.
Yeah, so when the Don't Nod logo came up, I was like, oh, Life is Strange 3. That's pretty quick. Like Life is Strange 2 just finished pretty recently. But this game is called Tell Me Why. It's like a Life is Strange-esque sort of play style about like a brother, sister trying to, I don't know, like they're clearly looking for answers about their past. That's kind of all I got out of it. There's going to be some sort of superpower aspect to it, very, again, similarly to Life is Strange. This game just looks really good. The story looks really good. They have a history of doing good stories, so I already know, like I'm down for this. They have the games to back it up.
Okay, I'll just take you guys.
It's not a Cory game. It's not a
100% not a Cory game. I thought this looked more like a trailer for some like CW show. Like it really just seemed like everybody was so dramatic. I'm in the middle of playing through Far Cry 5 right now, and that's I love the game too. It's a big action-y, like crazy shooter. You're doing all this nutso stuff and like tons of murder. It's like wild. But the cutscenes are just so dramatic. Like the actors and the sounding and the music, like it just sounds like I'm in the middle of a soap opera
But it's really good.
It feels overacted. It seems overacted.
Nah, the guy that plays Joseph Seed is creepy.
Yeah,
he's really good at it.
Yeah, he's good. But like you see him once every 2 hours, and the rest I have to deal with these NPCs and subplot characters who are just really over the top.
Wow.
Dang.
Cory just wants to shoot people with no story, everybody.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Tell Me Why looks very good. I'm very excited. I don't think we had a release date for that.
What was that game called again?
Tell Me Why.
Ain't nothing but a heartache.
And then we had a whole block of Obsidian announcements.
Yes.
Outer Worlds DLC, which I'm very excited for. Peril on Gorgon, which was stylized to look like an old-timey horror movie.
Yep.
Love that.
And full disclosure, even with the Halo stuff, this is what made me actually go, yes! Like the loudest. I was not expecting an Outer Worlds announcement. And I just need more. And I was most excited about what they said. They said this will be the first of 2 paid DLC packs. So this is not the only one. We're going to get another one in the future. But this was awesome.
What I'm curious to see is whether... Because they said all the games you see you get on Games Pass. Does that include DLC? Do we have Game Pass DLC? Or do I have to buy this?
If it's Game Pass DLC, that's very, very exciting. I don't know why I assumed this was paid. Because they said paid.
Until I just thought about it. Because I don't understand how it would work if it was paid. Because if you get rid of Game Pass, you get rid of your game is gone. So why would they make you pay for something that you would then lose by getting rid of Game Pass? We'll look into this. Further research will be required. We'll come back to you with an answer next week.
It'd be nice if they actually told us things in this conference.
So September 9th is when that's going to come out. We got a final trailer for Grounded, which is like their Ants style survival game.
Yeah.
This trailer made me laugh so hard. I think they promoted it very well. I thought
Cyberpunk was a good touch. That was hilarious.
That was perfect.
Oh, this is that game that had the very, very well scripted marketing thing where they're like, if you're looking for the biggest game of the year, wait for Cyberpunk 77. But if you want something that's okay, try this one. I like the honesty.
Well, they said because it was the biggest game of the year, Cyberpunk, and then it was like, but if you want the smallest game of the year, because the game is about being like the size of an insect.
I got it. I get that. But I just don't like that.
Cory, come on.
Wow.
I don't like when you tarnish your own brand. Like when you say the biggest game of the year and you mean like by size, but the joke was that's going to be the biggest game because by scale, it's not physically the biggest game. Why wouldn't you say play Godzilla or something like that? Maybe I'm way breaking this down because this is what I do for a living, guys, but I do not like... What?
I thought it was great because they did get recognition from Cyberpunk, which was huge on their Twitter account. And they were like, we see you,
They're also just they're just acknowledging the truth that everybody is aware of.
Yeah, I don't like that. You gotta always, when you put something out there, you gotta believe it's the best thing. And they should be in their minds.
You can't believe it's the best thing without believing it's going to be the best selling thing.
No, they need to go out there. They need to release this game with the intention of outselling Cyberpunk 2077. They need to go out there with bug
But
snack
they
swagger.
know that they won't.
Bug snack swagger. That's what they needed.
But they know that they won't. I'm here for it. I feel you. You gotta hype up yourself. You can't be talking out of yourself. I think it was a very funny way of. I mean, here we are talking about it. Like, it's a very, very funny way to stand out. It's like, how do you grab that attention when people are watching this conference and, you're like, we're going to be the biggest game of the year. And everybody in the audience is going, well, you're not Cyberpunk, so whatever.
Yeah, you're not that one game that we were just talking about by the Life is Strange people. What's it called?
Anyway, so they Grounded comes out next week. So it comes out, or Early Access comes out on Tuesday. So you'll be able to play that just on Game Pass starting on Tuesday. And then they got, I guess it had been either teased or somebody knew, like people knew that this was coming. Because I heard people talking about it before the show about a new RPG from Obsidian, but their new, big RPG project is this game called Avowed.
Ooh,
So pumped.
So new IP. We got a cinematic trailer for it. I have no idea what it's going to be about. But are you guys excited?
Hell yeah.
From Pillars of Eternity. So that's why it was so hyped.
I did not know that.
So, yeah.
I'm not a big RPG person, so this is all you guys.
I just saw it and I was like, ooh, new Skyrim. So I think
Oh my god.
if there's one thing Obsidian has been able to do, it's prove that they could like take a Bethesda style and knock it out of the park, like do it better than them. I'd say right now, if I had to, at one point Bethesda was my favorite game studio, but now it's legit. I think Obsidian is my favorite game studio. So I saw what they did with New Vegas. So I'm taking this and I'm hoping it's going to be the New Vegas of Fallout 3. This is going to be like the Skyrim.
Talked about it too, like that. They were like, from the creators who created Skyrim, not really. They're remaking
Yeah.
just the whole thing with Outer Worlds. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
what
it.
Outer Worlds is to Fallout, I really hope this is to Skyrim from this studio. And then if that's what they do, this company is going to be huge. It's going to get it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited for this company.
The first AAA game for them like this in this genre.
Feels like it. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
So they had that was the end of the Obsidian block. There was like they had that big block where they got all three of their announcements out of the way real quick. As Dusk Falls was the next one. It's another interactive story kind of a game that I can't tell if the trailer is how the game is played, because it had like a graphic novel, like a comic book visual kind of thing, like when you have those interactive comic books, whatever. And I can't tell if that's what the game is like. I was like, is this actually fully animated or are these just pictures?
Moving pictures. Yeah, I thought it looked pleasing. Yeah, I did find myself getting lost in like, what is it or why is it? Yeah, and I totally get it. But did you think it was appealing though, at least?
It's appealing as a trailer. I kind of hope the game doesn't play like that.
So
I would like to actually be able to move my person instead. I don't know.
Yeah.
The story looks really good though. And again, the fact that it's on Game Pass, I don't have to pay $60 for it. Like, yeah. I'll check it out.
True.
But the story looks very, very interesting. It really sucked me in as like, I would like to know where this is going and what's happening. But gameplay wise, I don't know about it. So I'll just be curious to see what else comes out from this, because this is the first I'd ever seen of this.
Yeah, me too. I classified this one in the same bin. I was like, this is one Emma might like, but no, I'm out of it.
Cory just like sees like muted tones and then hears some cinematic music and goes, this is an Emma game.
Yeah, pretty much. Usually takes place on Earth. There's usually not any guns. And then I'm like, yeah.
Excuse me?
Or it features like animals or something. And then
oh my God.
I kind of got the picture.
This feels sexist. This feels sexist.
No, it's just Emmaist.
No,
I think it's
exactly how this feels. Psychonauts 2, which again is another one people are very, very excited for.
Yes.
We got Jack Black in there as their Keanu Reeves moment.
As soon as I saw Jack Black, I freaked out and flipped my chair. I was just like, yes.
I was like, Brutal Legends?
Yes. Wait, what?
Yeah, well,
I thought it was gonna be a Brutal Legends thing.
I did too. I was actually
Yeah.
kind of disappointed because it just seems like Jack Black just sang the theme song, right? He's not a voice actor in the game. It's not Brutal Legend.
I assumed he was a voice of like the little light thing
Yeah.
that was following him around.
Okay, hopefully I didn't hear that over the singing from his thing because it was Jack Black, so it was very loud. But I was excited when I saw Tim Schafer and Jack Black. Like, I love Brutal Legend, so anytime those two dudes collab on something, I'm sure it'll be good.
That's one people are very, very excited for, but I never played Psychonauts 1, so like I'm totally out of the loop on it. Did any of you guys play Psychonauts?
No.
Wow, so none of us has any idea. If you're excited about this, we're happy for you.
I played
but we
Brutal
don't-
Legends up until the part where it turned into a RTS, so take that for
Okay.
what it's worth.
There was a super cool trailer that opened up after this that as soon as the scenery came on, I was like, that's Pripyat. I know exactly, like, what is this Chernobyl game? And I got very excited because I'm obsessed with Chernobyl. And it's Stalker 2, and I don't know what Stalker is.
So I was the same way. I was like, what is this? It looks so cool. I was like, is this like a new Resident Evil or something? I don't know. I was like, what is this? But yeah, I was the same. I was like, what is Stalker? But there was so many people that were hyped with the Stalker game, so I was just like, okay. I don't know. It looks cool.
Anybody else? Did Cory, have you ever played Stalker?
No, it was before my time as a PC gamer. This one was like high school
It's
era.
like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
No, it's not that. Yeah.
Wait, what?
It's like 10 years ago, wasn't it?
You're gonna make me look this up.
I am.
All right. Well,
Someone said, Renegade 77 said Stalker is kind of like Metro.
It definitely has that feel just from the trailer and the setting.
yeah, it came out in 2007. So
Okay, so 13 years.
yeah, and I graduated in 2006. Thank you very much.
So it was after high school for
Shut
you.
up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Because that's the direction
Shut
numbers go.
up.
Warhammer 40K? I did
Skip.
not know that's what this was until the Warhammer logo came up. You could have put a gun to my head and asked me what it was, and I would not have said Warhammer 40K.
It didn't look great. Like I think the character models and stuff just looked blocky. It looked dated. And then when it said Warhammer Dark Tide, I was like, this kind of makes sense.
I was like, I saw the trailer. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting, I guess. And then I saw Warhammer, and I was like, tune out.
Yep. Same.
And then we got the real hypeness that was Tetris.
For real.
Yeah!
Like, I'm not even. I hope that wasn't a joke because actually was hype. What did you think, Lexie?
At first, when I saw Tetris, I was like, I mean, I love the Tetris games, but at first I was like, is this like it has to be a music game? And I was like, is it going to be like some type of dance central, but not dance, like that you play, like hit the pad, with your gamepad type game. And then they showed Tetris, and I was like, oh, I'm hyped. Music and block building, I'm in there.
Well, and then it shows like 4 different Tetris screens joining together, and they're all using the same block, and I don't know what's happening. It was a lot going on.
I was hyped. I actually have a poster signed by the creator of Tetris, so I freaked out because I met him at a PAX, and I was so excited.
I got really excited at first because I thought it was Tetris 99 coming to the Xbox, and then it wasn't. And then I was like, oh my god, is it a remake of Tetris Worlds? And then it wasn't. And then I was like, yeah, it's still Tetris. I'll get it.
I thought as a trailer it was strange because the trailer itself is probably 2 minutes, and they spent a full pretty much minute of it just like showing people's faces playing games. Like it felt like one of those We Are the World things where Xbox was going to be like diversity in gaming, or something, like have some real positive message. And then it turned into like a Tetris trailer out of nowhere. So it really took us for a loop. But that being said, I fucking love Tetris, and it looks like Tetris meets like Beat Saber or something. Like it was weird. So I'm down for it. I'm excited for this one.
We got a game called The Gunk that somebody in my chat said, so it's Luigi's Mansion in nature.
Yeah. That's what it looks like.
It definitely does. Its art style is pretty cute. You're vacuuming up this gunk that is all over nature for some reason, and you're fighting it, and things are happening, and I was like, okay, we're cleaning up the world.
See,
Yeah.
it's all these We Are the World games, man. Just give me a gun. This is another one where I just snooze fast. I fell asleep.
What?
I don't want them trying to push their agendas on me of picking up garbage and stuff. Like, way too political. I just like video games with aliens and guns.
Oh, wow. The Medium, I'm very excited for.
Okay, which one was
The
this?
horror game that they showed where you can switch back and forth between two different realities.
Oh, yeah.
By the guys that made Layers of Fear, Bloober. I am excited for this game. I want this game.
It kind of reminded me of Control with a mix of like, I don't know. There was another game that was like that back in the day. Can't remember, but a little bit of Control, I guess.
I dug this one. It did seem a little bit on the dramatic side, but you know, I could let that go with just the visual aesthetics, the music. Like, I wanted to see what was going on there, so I like that one.
I'm really interested in the idea because, like, they've showed that you can. So they said a couple things. They said that both worlds are rendered simultaneously. So at any point you can just flip because the other world, there's no loading, there's no like, transitional thing. It's already in there. You don't have to wait. So you can just flip back and forth at will as fast as you want, as quick as you want. So that is interesting. Go ahead.
Wasn't there crossplay? Like you and I could play at the same time, like the two different worlds. I thought that was like one of their like hooks to get.
I didn't catch that. I have no idea.
I don't know for sure, but I think there was crossplay.
So there's that, and then you could tell that it's almost like a puzzle type of a thing. Like, well, you'll get to somewhere where you're like, well, I can't get past this. You switch to the other world, and like maybe you're at like a locked door, and you switch to the other world, and the door's not locked. You walk through it, and you switch back, and you're through it. Which is something that if anybody here played Dishonored 2, there's a level in Dishonored 2 that does the same thing, and it's for a single level, but it works so well.
It reminds me of the Master Chief redo where you click a button and you see it in old timey and then you can see it now, but with like that being the premise of the game, the functionality.
Yeah.
So I dig that. I like it.
Phantasy Star Online 2. I don't know that any of us is a big Phantasy Star.
I'm a Phantasy Star fan.
Okay, all right. Are you excited for this one?
I am. I feel like it didn't get as much hype as it should just because of like OG Phantasy Star like gamers, but I was hyped because I haven't played Phantasy Star in a while, and I was like, wait, as soon as the trailer came up, I was like, that's a Phantasy Star game. So I was shocked. But yeah, I'm hype about it. It's an RPG. Like, I like Final Fantasy type games too, so it's in that genre. If you like those type of games, you'll probably like it. So
yeah, I think it's kind of what they need at this point too, because it's an MMO, correct?
Yeah,
it was one of the first console MMOs that a lot of people have fun. It was like their gateway into those types of games. And so far as I know, for the Xbox Series X on the Games Pass, that's kind of hard to come by. So if that's your type of game or you want to experiment with that, it just kind of builds the Xbox library. And kind of like we talked about before, you'll have access to this game for free because if you have the Games Pass.
That's what free means.
That's what it means. That's what it means.
For $15 a month, you'll have access to this game.
For free.
Crossfire X looks interesting, but is my one gripe with the Game Pass on this.
Why?
Because all of the games, Game Pass, day one release, except this one has a little asterisk on it that says multiplayer is available on Game Pass. Single player is not.
Smart.
So the game that I want to play is not on Game Pass, but the multiplayer aspect of it is. I was like, well, fuck.
You don't want to be a competitive Crossfire X player?
No.
Oh, wow.
It reminded me of like Ghost Recon vibes.
Yeah.
This was a Cory game. This was a Cory game.
Yeah, 100%.
You got your shooting, you got your souped up super soldier with the weird dialogue. Like,
yep.
This was for you. The game looks really cool. Like, I was watching it, I was like, I would like to play this. I would like very much to play this. I'm interested and I'm intrigued. And then they were like, the single player is not on Game Pass.
Yeah, and you know what? This game, if it doesn't have a Battle Royale mode, it's really going to suffer. And I was kind
I
of
hate you so
disappointed in it
much.
for not talking about Battle Royale.
I hate you so much. You are actually the worst person that I know. Yeah, so it looks interesting, but that was my one bummer of not knowing if you know how much the game's gonna cost. And then there was the big thing that everybody wanted and everybody waited for, and that was the Fable announcement. There is a new Fable game coming.
Yes, the worst kept secret in the internet for this thing.
Yes.
Like it leaked so many different times from so many different sources.
I was like, we've known for how many years now?
Yeah, and we talked about a Twitter account coming up, in the last few weeks, and it happened. It came to fruition. I was extremely disappointed because I don't know why I had just kind of operated under the assumption that this has been in the works for a while because it leaked so long ago that they'd be further along. But this was just like a 10-second teaser of a little pixie getting eaten by a frog. Like it taught us nothing about
It
what
was
this
just a cinematic to tell you it exists.
bummer.
Yeah.
Huge bummer. And that's how you ended the show. If they started the show I think they should have flipped those two.
Yeah, if you flip the beginning and the end of this conference.
Literally flipped the script and it would have been a lot better. Twice as good if they would have just done that. But it's Fable. I'm excited. No Peter Molyneux, so I'm not just going to jump head first into it, but I don't know. What else can you say? Like that's all it was. I got no hype out of that.
Wow, I think that's the only person I've seen not be excited about Fable.
I'm excited for Fable, but that video didn't do anything to make me more excited or less excited. I'm just still the same.
Like, I'll say the graphics looked, of course, better, but...
Well, it's a cinematic, so who
it's
knows?
a cinematic, yeah. There's no promise that it's going to look anything like that.
And they said, what, 2022?
I feel like it's the same thing, like with the other games we spoke of earlier. I feel like it's just like trickles of, okay, we're going to give you this little bit now, but then we'll give you more coming sooner to the launch of the actual Xbox. So
I'm going to immediately correct myself. It did not say 2022. I think I dreamed that. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. In my head, there was a 2022 in there, and I just looked at the trailer, and it does not.
Does it say any year?
No, it just says Fable.
I bet you're right, though.
I bet it's not any time before 2022.
Yeah, and the history of Fable is that it just constantly gets pushed back. So if it lives up to its name, it's going to be 2023 before we see this thing.
So that is the end of the show, which takes me to my biggest disappointment of the entire show.
Oh, no.
That I was fucking convinced that we were going to get a release date and price on the Xbox Series X, and we didn't.
Another missed opportunity.
We're 4 months out from release, and neither console is going to grow the balls and be the first one to drop their numbers.
I mean, granted, being in like marketing, like I feel like they're going to have some type of show before. So I could see them being like, okay, to fans, this is like our E3 marketing deck that we're going to present to them online, but then we're going to have our other show to present the actual Xbox, and then we'll drop the price. And so I feel like it's those Apple things where it's like, here's your teasers and your trailers, but you have to come to this other thing to find out the actual price.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This was their perfect opportunity. They had every reason to do it, and they didn't. We are 4 months out. Some of us are poor, okay? Sony, Microsoft, some of us are poor, and we need time to know how much money we're saving up for your freaking consoles.
But this just speaks more to, I think they already had this deck planned for E3. And if that was the case, then that even speaks to they weren't going to launch like the price at E3 anyway. If that makes sense. So they were going to...
Yes, but E3 would have been over a month ago. They had time to put that shit in there. That was my biggest disappointment, was not seeing that. I'm like, we're 4 months out.
So we've seen EA, we've seen Ubi, we've seen PlayStation, Devolver, and now Xbox finally. What do you think? Who do you think performed? I know we don't want to, make the console war. I don't want to make it a console war thing, but just as a presentation, do you feel like Xbox did as well as the others?
I mean, Sony's presentation was really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of good shit in that. Halo had some really, or Halo, look at as my Freudian slip. Like the Microsoft one had some really high highs because it had Halo, and that's what I was personally waiting for.
Yeah.
But like that Sony presentation fucking killed.
Yeah. I think they just put it together better. It's a more polished product. I think if you, are a part of console war conversations, or if your friends, rag on you and you guys talk about which one's better, I feel like it's just easier to be a Sony fanboy because they're just so flawless with their delivery and their marketing and stuff. When, they just shut down Mixer. That Microsoft's kind of a joke right now. And so when you hear Xbox and you watch it, like you got a lot of people out there just looking to nitpick, and you got to elevate what you're giving to people. So I think, again, leading with their biggest shot in this instance was just like, oh God, it's like watching your favorite fighter go, and you could tell he just gassed himself in the first round and he's just going to get his ass kicked for the next 12. That's how I felt watching this after that.
Well,
Halo.
like almost nothing had a release date. I think the only release date I can pull out of my brain is the Outer Worlds DLC and the Grounded. But I don't know that anything else had an actual date of release.
Yeah, me neither.
Which is upsetting. Again, 4 months out from release. Hellblade, I totally skipped over that because that wasn't included in here. Hellblade was announced with that trailer in 9 months ago now.
Yeah.
And I was really excited to see something from Hellblade 2. We got a promo for a YouTube video of them scouting Iceland. What? No. What? Where's gameplay? 9 months have gone by since you last said something about this game. So that was a real big bummer that we just skipped right over Hellblade. And there was not one mention of Cuphead. Even though we got the Cuphead DLC announcement, was that 2 E3s ago, or was that last E3?
Honestly, did you want it though? Like,
yes.
Like, I feel like that something like that it would have just been another thing where we would have had to talk about on this episode. It wasn't, unless it was Cuphead 2, then we can get hype. But this game came out.
Cuphead announced DLC. They had a trailer for it. They announced the Miss Chalice DLC over a year ago, and if this turns out to be exactly what happened with Cuphead, where Cuphead was teased at like 5 or 6 E3s in a row before it ever came out, what the fuck? It's DLC! Why is this taking so long? And why are you gonna not even mention its existence?
Yeah.
What? So those are my big three. I wanted Halo, I wanted Hellblade 2, I wanted Cuphead, and I wanted a release date. And all I got was Halo, which is a big thing, and I was very excited about it. I'm very happy about it. But the complete non-existence of the other three.
Yeah. Lexie, how are you scoring it overall compared to what we got to see from PlayStation and Ubi and all the rest?
Yeah, I mean, it was great as far as like what games, was presented, but I think they could have did a better job on the marketing side with their whole deck and presentations, and maybe throwing in a few more videos of actual people and surprises. But for what it's worth, I mean, I was scored in the middle.
Yeah. I think that's it. It just didn't blow us away. It's one of the biggest ones, so it should have just knocked us out on every sense of the way. From beginning to end, it should have just been, come on, man. You got this. You're Microsoft. Get your swagger back. You lost it, and now you need it back. And we need you to get it back for us. I haven't decided where my $600+ is going yet, but I mean, I'd like it to be Xbox. I'd prefer it to be Xbox, but you gotta help me. Meet me halfway. The next news story I have here, and then we'll end it because we spent a good healthy amount on the Xbox showcase. I'm proud of us. Herman Miller, the chair company,
my God,
and
Logitech.
This news story comes from Maxim magazine, so it is.
You went out of your way to get this from Maxim magazine.
I had to go to a trusted source.
How many of these? I'm gonna Google this chair and see how many sources I have to scroll past before I get to Maxim.
Do it, Emma. Please do it.
I like to choose sources that are like well known, and a lot of people know Maxim. So I went with them. They're the professionals, and they say that the Embody.
It's not even on the first page of results.
What?
I don't. Listen,
You know
guys.
what? You know what it is? It's
Everyone
because
knows
Cory follows Maxim on some feed, and that's where he saw it because it is not even on the first page of Google results.
Allegedly. And they're a great editorial website. Very underrated. They said,
Mhm.
the Embody gaming chair is based off of the Embody, which is developed using a collective expertise of a team of physicians and PhDs in the fields of biomechanics, vision, physical therapy, ergonomics. That existing chair featured the pixelated support system, which comes to the body's micro movements, thereby distributing weight evenly to reduce pressure and encourage movement, as well as Posture Fit, a device that supports the spine at its lowest point, and Back Fit technology that encourages healthy, neutral posture. And the best part,
Oh my god.
Emma, this brand new gaming chair from Herman Miller. What do you think it costs?
I'm aware of what it costs.
What does
It's a
it
terrible
cost?
bid. It's a $1,500 chair because they are out of their fucking minds.
How are they out of their minds?
What
talk-
gamer do you know? What gamer do you know has 15?
That's the question, because it's a Herman Miller chair costs $1,500. That's just what those chairs cost.
Yeah.
And you
Why
can't
is
say-
this the company that Logitech chose to partner with for their chair?
exactly?
Who are they targeting?
Exactly. And you can't say streamers. We're gonna take them out of the equation. Like a high-end stream. Like you can't say that. So what gamer do you know personally that would buy this chair?
You know, I would say a gamer that's going to buy this chair is one who values their health above all else and the health of their loved ones. Because these other gaming chairs, you know the ones that look like they belong in a sports car and not a decent room, those things are uncomfortable. Those things are not very ergonomic.
But you can find one on Amazon, I bet, for at least maybe $200 to $300 that would be for your health and not this chair.
You're underestimating pixelated support and posture fit technology and back fit technology.
I bet you
Herman Millers are good chairs. Like they are ridiculously good chairs.
They are
Like,
the Rolls Royce.
Yeah, they're your luxury brand. You know, you're gonna be fine sitting in this for 72 hours straight. Chairs.
Yes.
The question I have is again, who is Logitech selling this to, and why is this the company that they decided to work with? Because who's the audience here?
Yep.
It's people who value their health. Here's the thing: they're not even that expensive. How long do you think these other chairs last?
Cory's a 1%er, everybody.
No, well, yeah, but I mean, maybe 10%. But
that's expensive to me. You know what I'm gonna spend that money on? My Xbox.
You can buy 3 Xboxes. You can buy 3.
No, but listen, you talked about these other gaming chairs, and they cost like $300 to $400. And I'm here to tell you, they don't last that long. Like, I know many people where that's the thing. They talk about how much they spend on these chairs, and they only last like 3, 4 years, 5 years if you get a God tier chair. And that's not good because Herman Miller backs up their products with like 12-year, anything goes wrong with it, like they take care of you. They replace it.
I can't get past $1,500 is not an expensive chair.
It's not.
I stopped listening when you said that. I stopped listening.
To have a chair that's going to last you over 10 years, guaranteed, 12 years guaranteed.
Yes.
That's like reasonable.
$1,500 is so much money.
You're just not old enough yet. Both of you guys are just too young. You're not old enough yet.
There is not going to come a point where like I am totally fine. Like I'm not saying I'll never buy a chair like that, but I will never be like, yeah, no, this is cheap.
I said a lot of stupid stuff when I was your age too, Emma, that I wish I could take back. But you're gonna hit
There
a spot.
is no point where $1,500 is not expensive.
Emma, when
you can say it's worth it, but it's always expensive.
I'm 32 years old. I want to think about me sitting and being a gamer when I'm 44. So that's 12 years of gaming. I need to make sure that I take care of my back. I'm getting old. I'm not as spry as you, okay? You could probably afford to sit on a $500 piece of junk chair.
I assure you I cannot afford a $500 chair.
Cory, I 100% can guarantee you, 100%, I will do this myself. Go to Amazon and we'll find you the luxury of luxuries of chairs. So you can sit on your throne and be comfortable, but not for that much money.
I'm talking about pixelated. No other chair.
You keep saying that. What does that mean, Cory? What does
pixelated
mean?
support.
What does that mean? Can you explain to me what pixelated support
I know
means?
that it conforms to the body with
Yeah,
micro
no,
movements.
you're just reading the
thereby.
webpage. Fuck off.
In a related story, Herman Miller has partnered with esports teams Team Solo Mid and the San Francisco Shock in a
there it
sponsorship
is.
deal.
There it is, everybody. The corporate shill over here.
I'm not gonna lie.
You buy.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. When they told me we were making an announcement because we partnered with the Herman Miller chair,
That's why he's so happy, because he thinks he's gonna get one. For free. He's like, it's not expensive when you don't pay for it.
I'm gonna send this segment like straight to the representative that we deal with for the partnership. No, I jest, but I was really excited. It's so like people who do marketing stuff and do partnerships and sponsorships know, like, it's so nice when you can actually announce a product that you like really respect top to bottom. Like, I felt this way when the Shock got Sennheiser for the headphones, because those are bomb ass headphones. And so I was like, oh, I could sell these. Like, these, and the players got them and they're happy to have them. There's been other deals in the past with, partners that you get that are a little bit considered lower end, and the players are miserable when you give them. And then it's the same. It's like, oh man, how do I make content telling everybody that this is what you got to have, when in my heart I know that this is cheap? But this is like the complete opposite of that, where
Corporate sellout over here, everybody.
I'll take it. Everything for a little bit of a discount. But no, thanks for listening to the show, everybody. It was a good one. Like we talked about before, a lot of toxicity going on about Xbox and PlayStation. I think, to take it home, we are all the winners here as gamers. 2020, good year to be a gamer. We all win. Emmaskies, what's your stream schedule looking like? Are you gonna finish your Outer Worlds this time?
I will. Yeah, I'm getting close.
And when are you streaming it?
It's a good question. I generally try to do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
All right, good. And Lexie, are you ready to stream again? You show up.
I actually streamed, Cory.
You what?
I actually did stream, like maybe a week ago.
I know exactly when you did, because you always stream when I'm at like a very important event, and then I get blown up by lost sheep.
Guys, when do you want me to stream, Cory?
I'm free this Sunday. If you want to stream then.
Okay, let's go. I'll stream Sunday. What time, Cory?
Let's do like around. Let's see. If I was you, I'd do probably about 2 p.m.
Okay, we're streaming, guys. 2 p.m. Sunday. Follow me, XSpaceMintyX on Twitch. And this is the Cory themed stream. I will title it that.
All right, and the boy Skip and Tosh, who's been grinding on the podcast. We had the technical issues today. I know that stream might not be able to hear him, but the loyal podcast listeners can. Curtis, thanks for all your work. What went down? Give me a play-by-play. What happened?
I have no idea. I did something that I don't normally do, and here we are. But for all the podcast people, thanks for being able to hear me. All the stream people, next week, you'll hear me again.
GG's in the chat for Curtis. That's good. Thank you for everything you do, man. You don't make very many mistakes. I think this is the first time. And I don't even know. It probably wasn't a mistake. It's probably just an issue with technology. So don't even sweat it, Curtis. You're the man.
I appreciate it. I actually already know how to fix it, but it's all right. At least everybody was able to hear everyone else, and we got a show out of it. So I hope everybody enjoyed the show.
That's the great attitude to have. All right, everybody. For Curtis, for Emma, for Lexie, my name is Herman Miller. Cory Vincent, and you've just been banged.